Hello ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be doing some software development and I'm going to be using Cursor to help me out with that. But first I'm going to try to get some good background music. I think it's worth investing a little bit in this to make sure we get a good sound. Now we got all this stuff here, which is rather loud. Hang on. Whoopsie daisy. I forgot to turn off my speakers. Let's try that again. Wait. Okay, that's better. Okay, now I can hear it. I'm going to make sure you guys can hear it. It is awfully loud from my perspective. Okay, now it's quieter. Still looks loud on the stream though. I can adjust that, and well, let's go ahead and adjust it now. Did that fix it? Probably a little too quiet now. Yeah, something like that looks good. Okay. Apparently I'm supposed to be able to use this without issue. Apparently they don't do DMCA stuff. Yeah, anyway, they're claiming that this is good stuff. I don't know why it's free though. It's kind of suspicious that something this cool would be free. I mean, I was thinking about paying the money for it, but anyway. I also don't see how to navigate. Man, this is hard. Maybe something like this? They claim to be on Spotify even. Anyway, this shouldn't take too long. Okay, well, is this like a compilation of... Is this like a compilation of okay, let's say I want to listen YouTube. You know, I'm starting to wonder if maybe this is a compilation of... See, now it's not showing up for you guys. Hang on. Oh, no, it still is. Okay. No, it's not. That seems quiet. Yeah, that's much quieter. Okay, so if I understand correctly, this is just a bunch of people who've... Well, my first impression is just a bunch of people who've... Like, maybe SteamTunes is indexing third-party works by people that... like people like perhaps this DistroKid decided, hey, I want to release it to everyone for royalty-free. So I'm going to index it on StreamTunes. Is that how it works? I don't really know. Anyway, we're going to have this going on in the background. You know what would be nice at some point would be for me to capture this information here and to like show that in the corner while we're working. I suppose I could do that now. This might not take that long. I think it's worth doing to kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what the song is. Okay, so let's do this. Hang on a second. I'm gonna add a new, oopsie daisy. Where's window capture? That sounds nice. Window capture. Okay, so let's say, all right. Actually, let's use the existing. Okay, let's delete this. Guess I should show you guys what I'm working on, but anyway. Copy. Paste a duplicate. Rename. All right. Okay, so now you guys are seeing it twice. Now you'll notice this is without the title bar. Oh, this is not even the right one. Never mind. Let me try again. That one. All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, great. Now we're just going to crop this. And this does seem like a lot of effort to put in, maybe, but I think this is going to... I don't know. I just feel like this is a good thing to do, and then we'll have it done, right? So we want to crop away... Actually, we want to show a difference. So here's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I love how we're showing the wrong window. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's try this again. Select window, the new window, that one. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna crop this down. Keep it full screen. Okay, so filters. 500. Nope, that's too much. 100. Let me make this smaller. Oh, I see. Okay. Let me just do it like this. Yeah, you guys can watch what I'm doing, I guess. I'm confuzzled. Let's go ahead and stretch this to the whole screen for now, and then we'll go back and change it. All right, so. Don't need any cropping on the left side, I don't think. Top. 1,000. That's too much. Really? Interesting. Looks good. Okay, looks better. You guys can't see much though, can you? It's kind of weird. Let's set the transform differently so you guys can see things. No bounds? Yeah, there we go. That's better. Alright, so we're going to stick this up here. You guys can watch me edit it. Okay. We need to be a little bit higher, actually, now that I see it. There we go. There's the name of the title. 810. 20. There's definitely something better I could be doing, but anyway. I like that it shows the artist name there, although I don't know why it says StreamTunes. It's a mystery to me. On the bottom, we want to take 100 pixels off. Nope, just how about 20 pixels? Okay. Alrighty. Sure, that looks good to me. Okay. We really can't see the name of the author here in this, but that's the best I can do right now. We can crop more off the right-hand side. Okay. So I figured it'd be good to have some music for today. Let's shove this down in the corner somewhere. Honestly, wherever I put it, it's going to be in the way. It's going to block your view somewhat, but hopefully it won't be too bad there. Actually, let me make it semi-transparent. I've got a new filter for transparency. Think this will do it? Maybe. This does change the opacity somewhat. I want to make it clearly visible, but I also don't want it to override everything else. I think that's going to be good right there. You can see it if you need to. And to be honest, since it doesn't, you know what? I'm just realizing, since it doesn't show the author's name anyway, I may as well crop the bottom more. Bottom 100. Yeah. There we go. Now we'll just shove this down in the corner. It's going to get in your way a little bit, but, you know. There we go. All right, then. So my idea is really simple right now. I want to build something for my portfolio and something that's interesting to me. So I'm building a chess app. I'm probably going to end up using Vite, but now that I think about it, I'm probably going to use Dino. And I don't know if Dino and Vite even play together well or not. I think the main board, the actual chessboard, is going to be... here, let me bring up a chessboard just so we can talk about it together. Hang on. Whoa. Let me open a new browser. Let me just bring up a chessboard real quick. Actually, you know what would be easier? Let me just look at my one of my old games. Game history right there. Sure. Yeah, so I want to make something similar to this. Now, granted, this already exists, but yeah. So I don't want to make it. I don't want to make it too complicated. The idea is going to be that this main area here is going to be a canvas component. I'm not going to try to integrate it in React too much. I'm just going to have it be a canvas component that sits inside of a React app. I'm not, like, there are, like, I think React wrappers around the Canvas API, but I think that's a mistake to try that. I'm just going to have this. Basically, the idea is I want to build a nice React Chrome or a nice wrapper around the board and have the board itself just use whatever the best tool is. And I think the best tool is probably going to be Canvas. And then have that component that wraps the chessboard broadcast events like moves, checks, and checkmate. And then have a separate component here that records the moves and like catches those events and records the moves. And I want to have eventually some integration. Like I want to be able to send events back. Like what I want to be able to do is update the board position. On the canvas, I want to be able to change the board position. I want, like, see here, you can change the board position by playing directly, but you can also change the board position by messing with the log, right? So I want both of those to work, basically. I want to have bidirectional functionality. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work yet. Would a board controller to capture moves or to user events. I wonder if it's worth having the raw chess component that uses the Canvas API. I wonder if it's worth wrapping it in another controller component that'll just notice that'll interact with the user, and just have like maybe have it to where the Canvas component strictly deals with the board position and the rendering and does nothing else. I think that's probably a good idea. Yeah. And I probably do want that Canvas component, probably at a bare minimum, it needs to track the previous state so that it can render, so it can re-render, so it has the chance to re-render things quickly. Like, you can skip re-rendering things that haven't moved, for example. Like, for example, let's say we have this, okay, let's say we have this board position. Yeah, this board position, right? White does their thing. Now let's say black captures this, right? The only thing you have to re-render is this square and that square. The rest of it stayed the same, right? Everything else, nothing else changed. So, and one thing you might have to change is, you know, if you see how moves are highlighted here in blue, so those two squares will have to be re-rendered, but that's regardless of what changed. Those have to re-render no matter what. So that's something you can track internally. And then, you know, then this needs to re-render, this needs to re-render, and those two squares. So like every turn you have a maximum of 4 squares you have to re-render, right? And then basically the idea would be you just maintain the current board state in memory as a data structure, and then you decide which cells to re-render, right? And then you just re-render from the data structure. You'll say, hey, you know, what's at D4? We need to render that. What's at D5? We need to render that. What's at E4? We need to render that. What's at G5? We need to render that. So I think that's a good way to approach it. But yeah, first let's kind of get our basic stuff set up. This looks weird. This doesn't look to me like a framework. Vite. Does it have any kind of Vite support? I don't know if I want to bother using Vite, but seems nice in some ways. Okay, so okay. Pairs well with React and Dino. Okay, great. I want to do this part by hand. I don't want to use AI for this. Some of you may know, with Cursor, I'm basically, it's an AI editor. But I want to do certain things by hand, partly to help my memory. I'm new with Dino, for example. I don't get a chance to play with it very often, so I want to build up understanding of the basics and kind of, I need to understand generally what's happening in the bottom of my system, if that makes sense. I'm getting distracted here with YouTube. Okay, let me bring up let me bring up OBS again. There we go. Right, so I need a project. So, empty folder. Let's begin. Like you know, I generally, well, whatever. You know, I tend not to build. I tend not to build apps for other people's consumption. I tend to build them just for my own amusement. So that's kind of, that's a bad habit to get into, you know. I don't know why we're using npm here, but I think probably because Vite is still using npm. That's my guess. Template React TS, that sounds good. I do want to have TypeScript. What do I want to call this app? Okay, it's going to create the folder for me, which is nice. Dino, init, npm, Vite. What do we want to call this? Well, let's use AI for this. I need to give it some kind of pornography. Man, that sounds X-rated. Checkmate quest, in-game explorer, chess champs, rook and roll. I mean, these are kind of campy but fun. Chessity, checkmatey, matey. If I could figure out a way to work an R sound into that, it'd be great. matey. Maybe the rooks would be pirates. I don't know. Chessfall, rook in the park. That's a nice one. I don't have a theme in mind. I mean, maybe Park Bench could be the theme. I like the name, but I'm not inspired by the theme, if that makes sense. Nightly Pursuits. Again, that could be X-rated. Gambit Galaxy. Sounds a little bit too pretentious. But the honest truth is I don't have any better names, so I'm gonna go with Rook and Roll for now. Let's just start moving forward, right? And the main thing about the name is it needs to be something memorable for me. React-TZS sounds good. Dino's not installed, right. Let's get it. There are a lot of positives to using Nixos, and one of them is how easy it is to install things, how quick and easy it is to install things. Sure. No, I don't want to use experimental things. Yes. Okay, there we go. One of the nice things about Nix shells, it's very easy to install something if you're looking for it. Okay, I don't know why it's running. I didn't really ask for that. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's go into Rook and Roll. R&R, maybe? Can I do that in Tmux? Will it work? Yes, I can. It accepts the ampersand. You can see there. Sometimes it will replace special characters with like dash or something. In this case, it accepts it. Now then. I don't like remembering how to do Nix shells, so let's do this in cursor. Projects, portfolio, Rook and Roll. Oh, portfolio, Rook and Roll, open. Okay, that's confusing. Add a shell.nix to install Dino. Alright. Let's see it. Keep. So then, now that we have that, we can just do Nix shell with no arguments, and it should get my package in there. So then, the way we run it is... Okay, I think we've already done that part. Let's take a look at it. Oops, that's not it. Man, I've been using Windows so long I've forgotten all the shortcuts and stuff in Linux. Just too bad. Okay, great. This is happening right here. Okay, well, I don't need to test HMR. I believe you. I trust you. AI can go away. Alright. So, this will start the Vite server. Click the output link to localhost, blah, blah, blah. We're going to build a full stack. I don't know if I need to follow the rest of this. Well, maybe this. I don't really know what I'm installing, though. But okay. npm:@dino Vite plugin. I think @latest is implicit because I've never installed it before. npm types React. Yeah, we want that. npm Vite.js. Okay. I don't really know what I'm installing. Well, okay. I'm not too worried about it. It looks like we did the right thing, which is upgrading. From my perspective. As long as it works, its upgrading is good. We need to install the Oak web framework for Dino to handle our API requests, and Core's middleware to allow cross-origin requests from the React app. I don't see the reason to follow the rest of this example. And to be quite honest, I'm not actually sure what all Vite provides by itself with nothing else added. I know it's highly configurable and you're supposed to add stuff yourself, but I haven't really explored all of that. Okay. I just looked at this file, right? No, I didn't. Okay. Great. There's no Dino file. Okay, well, we're not going to mess with it. I have a feeling that if I add a Dino.json, it's going to screw around with stuff, so we're not going to do that for now. What we are going to do... There's not much under source, okay. Alright. Oh. New project. New project. Keep it simple. Okay. Now, we're going to add some components. And we're going to add this directly in the main, I think. New file. All right. Oh boy, let me see if I can remember this. Hang on. All right. I think that works. What's the squigglies? Okay, yeah, never fine. Why is it having trouble tab completing? Okay. Great. So that'll get us started. I don't know why we didn't have to import React, but whatever. I'm not going to question it. All right. Now here I want to actually use it. I don't care about any of this stuff, actually. Boom. All right, now we're not going to do anything special here. We're not going to be passing parameters yet. We're going to keep it super simple. For now, we're just going to get things working. Hi. We're not even going to bother with HTML markup at the moment. Okay, now let's take a look at it. Hang on. Oh, I don't have it. Well, let's look it up again. Oh, it's because it's not running right now. Okay. Okay. Try this again. There we go. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is scoot this over. And then scoot this over so I can... Oops, daisy. Oh, what's that? Don't need to mess with that. Let's put that over there too. Okay. Okay. Great. I really don't like this warning. I wish I could just easily get rid of it. Oh wait, this is a warning from my browser. It's not a warning. That's right, it's not coming from Vite. Maybe I'll add, well, we'll deal with that later. We don't need to get distracted right now. Okay, the point is this shows up. Now time to learn the Canvas API. All right. Get rid of our example here. Right. Actually, before I bother with the Canvas API, I should go ahead and define some things. We'll need some types. Okay, so well, let's think about it. We have chess pieces, right? I don't even remember if nums are a real thing, and man, it's been such a while. Let's just use strings instead of a nums. We have a king, queen, should be like this. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And going out from the king and queen. Man, I should have kept that up, huh? Should have kept that where I could see it. Oops, daisy. Whatever. You know what? We're just going to take things slow. Nice and slow. Okay, I'm going to keep this off to the side. I don't think you guys need it for reference at the moment. We got the king, the queen, the bishop, knight, rook, and of course pawns. These are the pieces we're allowing. I wonder how we're going to represent board coordinates. I imagine it's going to be with... I wonder if I should bother to have... I think I'm going to have a function... Types might not be the right name for this file, but whatever. What do you even call it? Coordinates? Board position? No. Let me ask AI. Having the right name for things is important. In chess notation, the E4 in is called what? What is E4 called? The square? Algebraic notation. Okay. Algebraic to index. Should I call it a coordinate? Okay. I want to make it clear we're just talking about the position here. Number. Okay. What's the problem here? Oh, we need to call this right. I did something wrong here. What's the problem here? Oh, that's simple. 1 is always... Okay, great. Now, the board is always 64 squares. And I think we want to go... Okay. Oops, let me get another... I want to get another diagram here. I want to make sure to use the right nomenclature so that I can get myself in the mindset of a chess player. This is okay looking. Okay. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. So the rows are called ranks and the files are called columns. Yeah, the columns are called files. That's useful to know. So, honestly, I don't actually care whether I'm indexing this in yeah. Okay, so we already know that thanks to the type system that we're getting a string in. If not equal to no, $sign doesn't go there. I'm getting mixed up with C#. Okay. Great. We'll have a stack trace so we don't need to tell where. Okay, so... Right. So then we just check the first one. You know, we can use OR to help us with this. It's called a rank. Parse int. Here we go. Should be relatively simple. Okay, so rank is going to be... I wonder if I can directly... Let's try something in JavaScript. Pop out. Let's try something. This is dumb, and I probably shouldn't do it, but I wonder if it's possible. Okay. Fine. Did I do that wrong? Oh. Ord and CHR. Charcode at. That should be fine for ASCII. Okay. I want to alias this. It's so long. Is this real? Alright, MDN to the rescue. MDN from char code. See also. Char at maybe? Oh, char code at is a real thing. Oh. Oh. So it's not string.charcode@, it's like h.charcode@0. Okay. Got it. Well, we're going to call it ORD. First of all, let's see if we can even do this. Well, no, that doesn't even make sense. Okay. Right, so we don't... Fine. Honestly, we don't need to pull out the rank letter. It's very easy to grab it again if we need it. Let's just grab the rank directly as a number. Oh yeah. Const. Char code A equals A dot char code at, oh nice, 0. Now, one thing I want to do is make sure this is lowercase. I don't care about locale because again, this is just very simple stuff. It's not really locale dependent. All right. Char code at 0. And then minus char code A 1 plus negative char code A plus this. I think that's the easiest to read. Personally, you can see all the gotchas up front, right? And then you've got the long one, the long obvious one at the end. Okay. And we add 1 because these are going to be. Actually, you know what? We're not going to add 1 because we're going to let this be 0 indexed. So yeah, we're going to be again, we want the gotchas to be up front where we can easily see them. We're going to make it 0 indexed. Okay. Now this is something I don't like to do. The math is pretty simple, but I just don't like doing it. Can I do it inside? Will this work this time? Calculate a linear index width from rank and file. All 3 are 0. Okay. I don't know why it insists on putting comments. It says row major order, but does it even know what the row is? Yeah, there we go. Okay, we don't need... This is wrong, isn't it? Okay. Great. Okay. Great, so we got that going on. That was sort of a big diversion. Just taking it slow, getting one step at a time. One step at a time. So what I need to do now is I need to build up a list of pieces, right? Or a list of board... Would you call it position? Board position equals white. There's something missing here. We'll just call it piece position. All right. This isn't working. Wait, let's not mess with this just yet. There we go, that's fine. Piece position is going to be piece, piece, position. I'm tempted to use to store not to break notation. I think I'm just going to store number. Okay. Add a function index to algebraic notation, which does the inverse of the function on line 20. Okay, let's see if it gets it right. It has semicolons, that's not right. Rank width is 8, fine. Okay, that's fine. It assumes that the file width is the rank. Okay, that's a fine assumption to make. Again, I'm not going to check this. I'm just going to keep. Whoops. Man, I really hate Visual Studio has really crappy undo logic. It'll undo more than it intended all the time. All right, here we go. All right. Let me see if things are better now in Cursor than they were. I think there's a special place to go and edit. Shoot. Cursor settings, maybe? Chat? Rules. Oh, interesting. I could use Cloud.mds, okay. Which I probably should do. Project rules. New name for the rule. Okay. Do not JavaScript. Do not append do not add comments. Here we go. Okay. Nice. Now. Okay. Yes, so that hopefully will help if it even respects that or notices. So, an array of piece positions. One thing we're not representing in this data structure is we're not making sure that every single piece has a position. Which, come to think of it, that's not actually going to be the case. As soon as a piece is captured, it falls off the board. Okay, that's the board position. Captures. Let's see. Let's do an array of, yeah. A capture is a data structure that includes piece type. Count is a number. All right. Let's just call it game. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna keep that for reference, but I think we're gonna get rid of it. Okay. Now this does mean we have to loop over 2 different arrays in order to put all the pieces on the board and render all of them. I'm not really worried about performance right now, but that's something to consider. I don't actually know if it'd be faster with 1 array or not. It's going to be 2 loops, but it's going to be the same amount of iterations no matter what. So maybe slightly more overhead. But probably not enough to where it matters in a language like JavaScript. Where most of the overhead is going to be the engine itself. That's my guess. Okay, so that's pretty clear, I think. Let's start with the most. We have the game, player state, capture. Okay. Seems good to me. One thing we could do better would be, oh. Let's do it like this. There we go. Keep everything basically in order. Okay, this is a fine start. Now what this lets us do is it lets us know how we're going to be storing things. The whole point of this is, how do I close this again? It's been a long time since I've used. We'll close that one. Oh, it looks different than it used to. Okay. Right, so we know we're going to be using one of those. And we're going to use state here, actually. Const game set game use state game import. I'm not seeing any kind of a type error here, but we do want to have a default game. And we're going to give kind of a sort of a pseudo constructor here. I am using snake case a lot. That is an unfortunate side effect of using Rust. Alright, it doesn't take any arguments. And it's going to return an object. White. Actually, you know what? We're going to be duplicating stuff, so... Oh, no, we won't. No, we won't. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do this by hand, I think. Board position. You know what? Is this really better than... I don't know. I feel like I need a way to convert to quickly. I feel like it's going to be hard just to create notation for this. I think what I want to do okay. Convert notation to position. Okay, it's going to take, and we're going to return a piece position. Okay, we're not going to, it's not going to generalize to all notation, but this is going to be at least enough to help us. Return piece. Anyway, we're gonna do this little by little. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do it for real instead of trying to fake it out. We have our piece. If notation dot length is 2, actually let's do this. Two. Okay. Let's use a similar error here. Expected notation for one piece and one location. Actually, let's just say this. This is just be much plainer. Expected something like you know, I just realized. Yeah, okay. There we go. All right, let's do the lowercase thing at the top. We don't want to repeat things any more than we have to. Okay, so. Man, I'm coughing a lot today. Okay, so. Right. So if the length is 2, we assume it's a pawn. So we just return piece pawn position. Is that it? We're probably going to rename that to index or something. And just pass the notation in. There we go. That sounds good to me. In this case, we're going to return, well, we first have to figure out the name. Piece piece equals get piece for notation. Here we go. We're just going to pretend that exists. That name is really bad, but whatever. Return piece piece. I'm pretty sure we can just use a comma there. I don't remember how it works in this language exactly. Now here we want to use notation. I know this isn't correct, but I'm going to ask AI to fix it for me. The truth is, I really hate having to remember how to do things in various different languages. First, I'm going to make this exist so that AI doesn't get overzealous and try to do more than that. Okay, so fix the syntax for, here we go. Yep, perfect. Let AI convert from Python to JavaScript for me. Okay, I guess we don't need a break here anymore. We're returning. All right. Sounds good. Now, get piece for notation. I am going to put this one above the others because it's going to be a short one, I think. Switch. Case. Okay, let's look up chess notation. I mean, more than likely, I know it, but I just want to be confident. Oh wow, there are lots of different, and look at that. There are lots of different notations. I don't like that. I'm just going to use the one I'm familiar with, the algebraic. Yeah. Ultimately, I'd like to be able to read PGN or something like that. Or maybe Fen. Excuse me. But we can do that whenever we care to. Okay, this doesn't actually give me any what I want. Oh, there we go. Annotation symbols. Okay. Oh, interesting. This apparently is beyond more than just chess.com. I don't know. Okay, I don't care about that. Okay, that's not it. Okay, here we go. Naming the pieces. Here we go. Yep, it's all uppercase, but I don't care. Piece. Abbreviation. Let's just call it that. Actually, you know what? I don't have to lowercase anything here. I don't need to do that at all. It's already going to be handled by these functions. Here we go. Okay. Piece abbreviations. Can I make this always on top? Nope, not easily. I'll just put this over here. You guys won't be able to see it, but that's fine. You can just trust me. Okay. Where was I? Right here. Oh, where'd it go? There we go. Okay. K for king. To be honest with you, I could uppercase it, but I'm not going to do that. Return king. You know, You know, it'd be easier than this. Let's do a mapping. Okay. King. It's a record of string to piece, I think. Q, queen, R, rook. There we go. This is good. Knight. Okay. Let's just do something fun. If you pass in an empty string, I'm going to tell you it's a pawn, which makes enough sense. Okay. So instead of using a big old switch statement and having all this encoded in code, hidden in code, if mapping dot hey, I don't remember to do this in JavaScript is so complicated about things. Okay, check if the piece abbreviation is one of the valid keys of mapping. Yeah, this end notation syntax is really confusing, really frustrating. Okay, sounds good. Okay, great. Now we got this all recorded very nicely up here. The rest of it is just boilerplate, so that's nice. Oh yeah, this should be exported as well. Okay. All right. Okay. Now then, we're going to create the board condition, the board position here. And we are definitely going to use a, yeah, we're going to do it like this. Const initial position is yeah, let's just use notation. Or rather, let's use here, we're going to make it even simpler for ourselves. Well, no, we're not. I want it to be easy to read, not necessarily easy to type. Okay, let's look at the original position, the normal position. I might add pawns as a special case. This is going to be for white. You know what? Okay. Watch this. There we go. Okay, so let's just start from the top left corner, right? Or yeah, let's just start from the left corner, outermost corner. So this is rook A1, knight B1, bishop. Did I have bishops down there? I didn't. Well, it's kind of important to have those, isn't it? B for bishop. Okay. Fortunately, can't spell check that very easily. Bishop is C1. Queen at D1. King E1. Then we have another bishop, F1, knight G1, and rook at H1. All right. Then we have a bunch of pawns. A2. Let's use this. So we want to search for capital letter. Place it with empty. And replace 1 with 2 across the whole thing. There we go. Perfect. Now this is basically the same. The only thing that really changes is the numbers. Substitute 1 with 8. Substitute 2 with 7. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this is much easier than trying to, you know what, we can, here, let's look at our types again. I want to record this. Our player is record A. Record white, black, A. By default, it's going to be any. We don't have to do that. Okay, so game is a per player state. And this is a per player. Boom. There we go. Okay, looks good. Okay. The music's a bit quiet for me. But also it has some weird noises in it if you listen closely. Go over to where it's at. Yeah. There's some weird noises there. Oh, I realize why it's so quiet. YouTube volume is low. There's some noise in the recording, which is unfortunate. But it's free stuff. What are you gonna do? Yeah, that's been anyway, been bothering me and I didn't know what it was. Didn't notice it consciously, but it's been bothering me unconsciously. So then, we need to return the right type of thing. I need to remember what this is. Return the game. Yeah, it returns nothing at the moment. Okay. It's kind of hard to see at this point. Let us... I wish we could... Okay, whatever. Okay. This is just to find our initial position. Man, this shouldn't be taking so long, it feels like. But, yeah. I don't know, I feel like there's a really clear way to define it and see if we got something wrong versus what we're going to have to do otherwise. So I think it was worth it overall. Just a lot of basic utilities we need, I guess. Return. Hang on. No, this is wrong actually. Does that work? Yeah, okay, that's good. Return. Okay, great. Per player state is a board position. which is a list of piece positions. Okay, so initial position dot white dot map convert notation to position. Captures is an empty list. Black, board position. Look at that. That's nice. That's really nice and simple. Easy to see. Yeah, I think that was worth it. The only other thing we could do that potentially would help would be to map over the properties of the initial position and convert them individually. I mean, it wouldn't type check though, so this is okay. This does the job. We don't need to get majorly abstract. This just looks nice to me. Right, this is the part that's likely to be buggy though, so we'll leave that open. And the rest of it we can kind of close. Alright, so this is a good stopping point. We've defined our initial types. Oh yeah. Game new. Okay. Yeah, I think this function is going to get passed in and called by React whenever it cares to. Let's make a commit. Oh, I don't really want to commit the stuff under .cursor, do I? Actually, I do. Define basic types. All right. I am going to take a short break and leave you all with this. Which I just realized I'm no longer on this playlist that I was on before. But NICOP Records is also often... Hopefully we don't get banned or something. I can't see the playlist here. Let's go back. Yeah, this is part of the playlist. Okay, we got through the whole playlist. I guess loop forever. Yeah, that's what I need to do is loop forever, I guess. This is not... Wait. Loop and shuffle. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm back. We're going to change up the music a little bit and then get back into it. Okay. I can't even remember. There it is, okay. Let's just try something different. Play on. Loop and shuffle. Let me make sure everything still looks good. It doesn't really. Kind of loud. Better. It's in the wrong area. There we go. Yeah, I see the problem. The problem was I scrolled too much. We're gonna just leave it like that. It's fine. Okay. Perfect. Oh, wow. A little bit too... Okay. It's kind of loud. It's kind of loud. Something along those lines. All right. Okay. Yeah, I don't want it to be super loud, especially with the vocalizations that are going on there. Honestly, it's too loud for me. I'm having to turn it down again. Here we go. All right, now, we kind of got the boring basics out of the way. Let's get started on the next part, which is, here we go, which is learning how to use, whatchamacallit. Here we go. We've got to learn how to use, whatchamacallit, Canvas. I kept thinking Reaper. Man, that's too loud. I don't like all the yelling. I think I'm gonna have to get a different playlist. I'm curious about this one. Yeah. Hopefully there's no vocalizations in this one. Okay. I think I just need to turn it down for myself. For some reason, it's looking really quiet in the stream. The meter's looking really quiet, but it's just super loud locally. I don't know why. You know what? I can turn music completely off for me and it'll be fine. Quite honestly. It's for your viewing pleasure. Okay. Now the next thing we need to do here is figure out Canvas. Right. I don't think we'll need to look at both of those at the same time very much. Mm-hmm. 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 Hmm. I can't remember how refs work exactly. See what it looks like. Sure, you use ref. Fine, that works for me. Okay. I guess all my cool stuff is going to have to be on the side of a use effect. Okay. I just realized I kind of have a logic error here in my my state. I think I need an empty board, not just a new board. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Apparently there's a 308 canvas ref dot current. What's wrong here? Possibly null. If, right. If it's null, return. Right, we want to make sure the context has a value and good. It could be null. Why could it be null? Oh, this returns null anyway. Okay. Okay. So let's do it this way. There we go. No sweat. Now, what I want to do here... Man, that music's really bugging me. Hopefully it's okay on the stream. Well, I guess I'll have to check that later. Hopefully it's quiet enough for you guys it doesn't matter. Yeah, obviously I can use a bunch of recs for it. I think there are a lot of different ways to approach the first render. But I think one way to do it is to... Yeah, I think the most generic way to do it is to do this. Const need full repaint. Set need full repaint. Use state bool true. It's a boolean? Okay. Right, declare but never use. That's kind of a useless error. Just, yeah. Anyway. At this point. Okay, so. I don't know if I want to keep this context open or get a new one every time. I'm not going to mess with it, though, as long as I don't need to. So I think what I'll do is just get a new context every time. But I actually need it in more than one place. I don't need it inside of a use effect, to be quite honest with you. Anyway, canvas ref, need full repaint. Let's just do that. Okay. There we go. If anything changes, let's do it in order. If anything changes, we want to know about it. Okay, so. Perfect. What I need to do, though, is see the previous state of game. This is something tricky I always forget about. React. That's not real. Might have been some. I don't know what that was. Use state. Oops. Keyboard buttons instead of mouse buttons. Uh-huh. You know, the shame of it is React already provides, it already figures out how to repaint the minimum amount, right? If we were relying on React to do this instead of Canvas, it would just already, work. That's a shame of it. Okay. Right. Uh-huh. Okay, that sounds really... That sounds verbose and unnecessary. We're just going to not worry about repainting. We're always going to need a full repaint. Yep. Okay. Simple enough. Okay. Right. We're just going to always do full repaints. Which means we no longer need that variable. Honestly, that variable is just going to confuse me. You can always add it back later when it makes more sense. Yep, we're just gonna paint everything. So basically what we're going to do is call a painter for... Yeah, we're gonna have some functions down here. Function paint square. Is that what they're called? Whatever. Let's try something. Never tried this before. Export. Oh, there. Try right here. That's a bad name. Does this work? Okay, that's how we'll do it. Because that's what we're realistically going to use as the shortcuts. Okay. Actually, you know what? Maybe we should shorten it even further. I and AN. Perfect. Location. Number. Let's make it simple for ourselves. We'll make it accept a string or a number. If location. There we go. Although since we're doing it here, we probably shouldn't even use that. We should use a longer one. Oh, that's backwards. Uh-huh. Okay, so we just make sure it's a number at this point. Yep, okay. It's going to require context as well. Canvas rendering context 2D. Apparently there isn't a 3D one. Okay. Great. Honestly, I kind of like the idea of using props. Change the arguments to props. Oh, I see. Oh, that works fine. It's easy enough to understand. Okay. All right, that's something we'll do later. Paint piece. Here we go. Okay, the location, we don't have to do that because it's going to be... All destructured elements are unused. That's fine. I do need to get a... I think what I'm going to do in the beginning... Yeah, this is going to be super simple in the beginning. All right, let's have a constant here. Const square size. Let's call it cell size equals... I don't know, 64 pixels? That means the entire thing is going to be 4,000 pixels. That's too big. We want it to be a maximum of 720. Wait. No. 64 times 8. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's 512 pixels. Okay. That's fine. Maybe we want to make it bigger to give it... We might actually want to make it bigger so we can give better whatchamacallit. Okay. Now let's look at fill rect here. XY width height. Okay. Get position with offset. Get render position with offset. Index. Okay. Excuse me. Offset can have an X and Y value and return an X and Y value. Okay. What I'm thinking about here is, you know, we have our chessboard, right? And the chess squares are going to be rendered to its precise location. So the offset's going to be 0. But the pieces themselves have to be rendered inside the square, right? They're going to have some offset potentially. Now what I probably will do at some point is have the actual piece glyphs, the images for the pieces. We'll probably have those, or icons, I guess I should say. I'll probably have those fill the whole square with transparency, like just where, like say for a rook, it'll be 64 squared. So it'll actually fill the whole area. But it'll just be filled with transparency. So it's probably what I'll do eventually, but for now we're going to do it differently. Just for ease for now. And I want to go ahead and calculate that each time. So, okay. Index to algebraic notation. Index. I think that's what I want. Does that work? Offset is undeclared but not used. That's fine. Okay. I want another function that's just going to do this, a low-level one. Add another function called index to xy, which will convert the linear index, but return it as, instead of converting it to algebraic notation. You know what? No, we're not going to do that. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this by hand because it'll be easier than explaining it. Index to xy. Okay. Basically, we're going to do all this stuff. Wait a minute, this is wrong. Should be a rank char. Perfect. All right. We do want to export it. Okay. It should be file, comma, rank, actually. Right? Yeah, rank is the Y. Okay. Let's get that right. Okay. Great. Return x plus. Can I do it like this? This would be interesting. Is that allowed? No. Pretty simple. Okay. Okay. We're not worried about pieces right now. Why is that red? Yeah, I don't know why it's red. Okay. Paint square. Get render position with offset. Index. Location. Okay. Now what I want to do, render position is going to know the size, right? Yeah, okay, this is going to be a little bit more complicated. There, like that. I think the offset needs to be, no, the offset needs to be afterward. X times cell size plus, there we go. Y times cell size plus offset. The reason is because the offset is in pixels, but the X and the Y coordinates are in ranks and files. Right. So this is a maximum of 8, but we need it to be pixel perfect eventually. Okay, yeah. So that's a bit tricky. So I feel like we should have something to show for ourselves pretty soon, which is nice. Comma expected. Oh, you know, that might help if we have an equal sign there. Okay. Now then. What I want to know is, should a cell be white or black? I think we can do it based on whether the index is even or odd. We're going to try that. Is white square equals location %2 equals 0. Let's do it like that. Okay. Actually, let's do it this way. Well, color equals, now what I want to know is fill style. Okay, great. Color equals white black. We probably want to use a different color, but that's what we're going to use for now. Yep, we're totally not going to think too hard about it. Actually, I don't want to use white. Light gray or black. Okay. Fill style equals collar. Wait, collar? Don't want a semicolon there. Context dot fill rect. X, Y, cell size, cell size. Okay, that should work at that point. Okay, I think we're good. So then what we want to do is yeah. Okay. Sure. Squares dot map. Wait. For each. Oh, geez. The undo thing here is really bad. Okay. Create a I hate how it makes me redo stuff. When I make a mistake typing and I hit undo, it just deletes everything. Deletes so much more than it should. Okay. Squares dot for each. I. Paint square. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Now, when does it repaint? When the game changes, the canvas ref changes. So it's not going to be repainting willy-nilly all the time. Delete unused ones, great. It doesn't seem like it's working. What kind of errors did we get? Interesting. All right, so let's look at the terminal and see what we're seeing. Looks good to me. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, how do we know the width of, how do we know the size of the canvas? Let's set the size to be 512 by 512. I don't know. This is suspicious. How do you set the size of it? Width and height. I'm going to go ahead and set these manually. We'll do it differently later. Cell size times 8. Here we go. Okay, I see the problem. The problem is it's painting them all the same way. So it's not based on whether it's even or odd. Or not strictly. So Let's do this a bit differently. Let's do the is even and is odd calculation differently. All right, so instead of location, let's use x plus y. Let's see if that fixes it. It doesn't. Huh. Well, let's think about it. Let's think carefully about it here. Okay. So here, let's say this is 0, 0, right? This is even, and it needs to be painted white. This, if you'll notice, every other one is correct, right? This one's correct, that one's correct, that one's correct, that one's correct. But this one's wrong, that one's wrong, that one's wrong, that one's wrong. Or that one. Like yeah, half of them are right. So we're halfway there. Now for this one, it's 0, 0, it's even, and it should be white. This one is 0, 1. If you add them together, it's odd, and it should be black. Now if you look at this one, though, it's 1, 0. And yet it should be even. Okay, it looks like the best way I can think to express it is if we're on an even file, no, sorry, if we're on an even rank, like rank 0, for example, then an even file means white. If we're on an odd rank, then an even file means black. So, I know there's some mathematically easy way to do this. Okay. Y is the rank. If we're on an even rank, here, let's do this. Okay. It's going to be white when is even rank and or is even rank and not is even file. Oh, or not. When they're both even or when they're both not even. I think that's right. Other than syntax there. Okay, well, let's try it this way. Maybe it's just not refreshing. I don't know. It is certainly taking its time to draw, isn't it? Did it fail? No. I don't see any errors. Oh, it's always white. Okay. It is white when they're both even. Well, let's think about it. Here, they're both even. Here, one is odd. Here, Both even, both odd. No, both even, X is odd. Both even, X is odd. Y is odd, both are odd. Okay. On the even... Oh! I see my problem right here. Okay. I mean, it doesn't seem like that's working. Okay, let's just step through the code here. What's it called? Paint square. Alright, give up. Source, components. Paint square, I don't want to look at that one. Great. Okay, we have our context, we have our location. Okay, we have... Here, let's get a watch here. Okay. (64:0). Now, why are we starting at 64:0 instead of 00? That's an interesting question. Uh-huh. However, those are both even. It doesn't really matter where we start. As long as it's doing the same operation both directions, it doesn't matter. Okay. Now both are even. Oh, let's check out the collar as well. Light gray, which is our white color. Now that matches. Check out the next one. 128:0. We're using X and Y though. Huh. Oh, I get it. I get it. Okay, I see the problem here. Yeah. X and Y are not going to help us, unfortunately. Yeah, this is an X and Y pixels. Okay. X pixels. Y pixels. Now we also need the X and Y though. Const. Equals index to XY. Location. All right. Perfect. Now, you'll notice we have it backwards to what it should be, which is completely fine and easy to fix. There we go. Did that not work? Yeah, it worked. Okay, good. Good. Okay. So this is the chessboard looking good. Now I want to make it bigger than 64 by 64 though. Cell size. I want to double it, quite honestly. Is that too big? That's too big. I suppose I could, probably could, I could probably do this using CSS instead. But whatever. That's too big. Alright, so we have a perfectly functional chess game. Honestly, I probably should do that with CSS instead of this, to be perfectly honest. But that's not something I really want to worry about right now. For now, we got something working. Okay. Into the chessboard. It does take a while to render, so I don't know that I necessarily want to do that every time, but yeah, it is what it is. It just dawned on me how to do the painful thing. Okay, so let's do this again. True. Wait. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, that's how we can choose what to repaint. Excuse me. All right. Perfect. If needs full repaint, then squares. Wait. Let's do a better way. Const. If we don't need a full repaint, then we set it to repaint squares. Otherwise, we're going to do this. There we go. Perfect. Those are the squares we're going to repaint. Okay. Squares up for each. I guess... Yeah, I guess I just need to check the pieces, right? Filter to... as piece at square. Okay, the ones that have a piece, we need to go ahead and for each. Let's just do this. Paint piece at. And I want to be explicit. And I have to be, actually. Context, game, location, index. Okay. We're going to rename this to index, I think. Let's undo that. Oh, geez. It's so hard to undo things here. And this is no longer allowed to be a string. Although that was a really cool feature. We don't need it. It complicates our lives. Okay. Okay. We basically need to do a reverse search here. Paint piece at. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And then we have the game itself. Okay. Then we're going to search in the game for a piece at that index, right? Game dot, oops. Oh, right. I wish I had tab. I used to have tab completion enabled, but it was really confusing, and sometimes it would complete more than I expected sometimes, so I disabled it. Maybe I should re-enable that. I don't know. Okay. Context index game. Right. Game dot white dot board position dot. What is the type of board position? A list of pieces. Find good. Find a piece where piece.index, piece.position is index. Right? The position is a number, right? Yeah, okay. Probably should just call this index instead of position. So it'll be less ambiguous. Now find will return undefined. Okay. Got it. Light gray and black. You know, I just realized we want this to be a little bit lighter. That works. It's not as nice, but it works. I could use brown if I want to. Oh, it doesn't work with brown. Okay, whatever. I mean, I could choose other colors. Okay, we're getting there. Whoa! My keyboard did something weird. Here we go. Don't need a semicolon there. There's our color. Does piece position say which color it is? I don't think it does. No, it doesn't. Okay. Color is just going to be an arbitrary string. Great. Okay, so piece is going to be white piece or black piece. Only one of them should be there, right? Only one of them should be in any particular position. We're going to rely on that rule being enforced. If piece is undefined, we're just going to return early. All right. Paint piece. Okay, we pass the context through. Piece position. Piece. Color. Pass that through too. There we go. Let's get in order. Okay, so we just find the piece, figure out whether it's white or black, figure out whether we have one at all. This might be less confusing if I do it this way. We don't have to figure out if it's white or black until after we figure out whether it's there. Okay. Great. Mm-hmm. Xpix get render position with offset. Here we go. Index position. Okay, offset is going to be the same in both directions. I'd say 10 pixels is enough. Whoa, hello. And I just realized they're never going to be centered, which I'm fine with. Just for our purposes, I think I want to render a square or something. Just to show something, and then I'll figure out how to do something a little bit better. Right. And then let's close this function. We have the color already. Context.fillStyle. Okay. At xpx, ypx. Cell size -20. How does that do? It should show squares for all of our pieces. Okay, well, they're kind of on the wrong places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, I also just noticed we don't have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not an 8 by 8. So let's go back to the original size. And reload it. Did it reload automatically? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know why it's only 7. Okay, it's 7. Did I mess up something here? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I don't know why it needs to be bigger in the horizontal direction. That's fishy. Oh, okay. I see what we're doing wrong. We're just not okay. Got it. So we're miscalculating here. My mouse stopped working for some reason. I guess it's out of battery. Yep, okay, no more mouse, that's fine. Right. So when we're getting the render position, we're somehow calculating incorrectly for those squares. GR. Index. And then X, Y. Okay. Oh dear, okay, I need to get my mouse working again. AA battery. Okay, I'm just gonna have to go grab a new one, I guess. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Be right back. Well, gee, mouse still doesn't work. All right, well, I might have to get a plug-in mouse. A wired mouse. Well, now that's interesting. I just used the same battery twice, and the second time it worked. Must not have been the battery. Must have been. I just had to unplug it and plug it back in. The dongle just got confused, I guess. All right. So what we don't need here is we don't need this. We want to just see the console output. Okay, that's problematic. Mm-hmm. So basically the X value is 1 too high. That's something we can fix. Types. Let's just do it this way. Okay. The file is 1 too high. That's probably because we're adding 1 to it. Reload. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 of them. Great. Now the pieces are kind of in the wrong spot. So I'm thinking that it's a miscalculation here, which I kind of expected, to be honest. You know what? I can just rename these. Start with the word file. Let me fix one error at a time. Mm-hmm. Nope. Geez, okay. Bug. Okay. And that's even a lie. Okay, so real rank. I'm going to continue calling that rank with. Okay. Mixed up rank and file. That didn't fix anything. I thought I was very confident that would be enough to fix it. Also, these are all the black pieces, which we should be seeing at the bottom. All right, before we go anywhere else, let's revert this change that didn't work. Okay, because, yeah, then the next thing to do is to actually distinguish the pieces so I can kind of get an idea for what's going wrong here. Okay, so paint a piece. Okay, let's look at the context. What can we do with it? Drawing rectangles, drawing text. Okay. Fills a given text at the... Okay. What's the difference between stroking and filling text? I think it probably has to do with the collar thing. Outlines. Oh, it'd be cool if we used outlines for white and then stroke, or if we used stroke for white and we used fill for black, that'd be cool. But we're just going to use fill for both of them. And I just realized, I don't know. Okay. We need to be able to get the get piece for notation. We basically do the opposite of this. Make a new function to do the inverse. Okay. Probably would like to get it to use the same data structure, but I'm not even worried about it right now. We can always, like, when we have bugs in that, we'll deal with it. Okay. I just lost track of my thoughts. Right. Text equals get notation for piece. Piece position dot piece. Okay. Context, oops, context dot fill text. Text xpx ypx. Now I'm sure it's going to be problematic trying to figure out exactly where it is, but get rid of that. Max width. Maximum number of pixels wide the text may be once rendered. If not specified, there's no limit. If it provided, the kerning will be adjusted. Okay. I do want to provide a max width of the max width is going to be cell size minus 20. I'd like to set a max height as well, to be honest. Those are tiny. Also, they're near the top instead of the bottom. But if we look, rook, knight, bishop, queen. Oh yeah, the pawn one. Do it again. There we go. The pawns are there too. Now it's at the top corner, I see. Offset by 10. Okay, well, I'm going to make it bigger. Console, sources. Before we do all this, I want to set some stuff in the context. Reload. Context.font equals 40 px sans serif. And then let's continue. That's better. Okay. That's much better. Okay. In the X position is 10 plus 40. We don't need that anymore. Boom. Oh, that's the wrong direction. That's much more like it. Okay, great. Now I do want to capitalize. Most of them. Perfect. Great. Now, I know we need some bug fixes, but we're going to go ahead and commit this because there's a lot of changes there. Yep. Render pieces. We definitely need to fix the bugs though. Okay, now. It looks like things are rendering sort of in the correct order. Let's see though. We look at a real chessboard. You can see that the queen is to the left of the king. And you can see here it's to the left. So the entire thing is rotated 90 degrees. However, when is this happening? You know what I want to do instead of rendering these pieces? You know what? I want to render indices. I'm going to have a new function called render indices. I can use for debugging. Context. Color isn't something I need. Okay. One thing I want to do before I go much further. We got black and white here. Let's try green. See if that makes a difference. If I reload. Okay, it doesn't. That's a weird thing. The white pieces are not getting rendered at all anywhere. So we clearly have some issues with our indexing. So that's why we need to paint out our indices. Okay. Okay. Let's open that up again. Passing the index. Offset is going to be cell size minus 10. Okay. Actually, let's do this. This is a lot more to debug. There we go. Context dot fill color. We'll make it black. Ten pixels seemed right. Seemed good. We're not going to provide a max this time. It's for debugging purposes. Where is that being used? Right there. Paint indices. Perfect. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, I'm getting good at this. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think I could still paint the things here. I might need a different color though. Yeah, I'm gonna need a different color. I need to put the indices last. I don't know what color to put them at though. To figure out what's wrong. I want a dark color, but it needs to be visible to both black. So, oh yeah, that's impossible to see. Let's ask AI for help here. Actually, I don't even need that. Pick a color that contrasts well against either a white background or a black background. Nope, can't see it. Okay, we're going to use black. And then we're just going to put it underneath. That's okay, that works. The pawns are kind of in the way. That's fine. For pawns, yeah, good. Okay, that works for me. It's still a period, actually. How weird. It's the center dot there, clearly. Anyway, that works. Okay, so 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0. 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. Now, it's supposed to be X, Y, so these are backwards. That's the first thing. Paint indices for debugging purposes. All right, let's go into our types. Okay, we have rank and file backwards here. Let's double check here in our file and rank. Okay, great. That's looking better, but this shouldn't be on 0, 0. It should be on the bottom. It's backwards. Actually, no. This is fine. This is fine. This is basically oriented toward the white side, the white king. And we can always flip the board if we need to. We can rotate the board at the end, right? In fact, let's not worry about it. Okay, anyway. We need to be able to rotate the coordinates, to be honest. All right, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is how our indices are going. That's fine with me. To be honest with you, our main problem might have been converting from algebraic notation. Because I really did want this to go across this way. I don't care so much, though. We can count along the files instead of the ranks. It's fine. So suddenly it's fixing the problem, whereas before when I did that, it didn't solve it. I don't know why. Maybe there was some other bug? Ah. Okay. 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7. It all looks good to me. Except for one little thing. We are not printing out the white pieces at all. Let's go back to here. Okay, so we're painting the pieces at every square. We're going through all the squares, okay? Maybe we're choosing the color incorrectly. No, if that were the only issue, we would see a black rook down here at 7, at index 7, and at 63. So that's not the issue. Okay. So, Oh, here's our issue. We've been painting only the white pieces. Green, okay. Now that we've got this, we're painting the white ones at the top, which I don't really mind. That's fine. I need to be able to swap board position anyway, so it doesn't really matter what the default orientation is. Okay, so this is a working chess game at this point. Okay, great. Oh, yeah, and the best part is You can clearly see the indices above at least the white ones. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, great. Perfect. Okay, this is good. Now, do you need to figure out how to transpose them, how to flip the board, right? And we probably need a flip button somewhere. I could just leave it like this for now. Well, I think I could just rotate the index. Yeah. I only need this for display purposes, though. That's the only reason I need it, is for display purposes. Some more painting indices. I need to rotate in those two places. Okay. Function. If I do flip it, though, I think I need to also flip the squares. One thing at a time, though. Transpose pieces. Get past that anyway. Props. Well, let's see. This position 0, 0 needs to be swapped with 63. Okay. 8 needs to be swapped with 55. 63 minus 8. Okay. I think I just need to invert the index. Okay. Interesting. I don't think I need a function for that. Okay, so we're gonna have a flip board. We're going to set it to true initially. Okay. I think what we'll do is just for everything, we'll take the... Oh, hey. Okay. When we're painting squares, we're just going to take this index, do 6. Okay. Index number. Result's going to be a number. Well, let's just call it adjust. Handle board flip. Man, what a bulky name. That should do it. It's a bit tedious. I feel like there's a better way to handle this sort of thing. It's a bit tedious, but we can do it. Basically, wherever we call this function, that's where we care about this, right? Oh no, wherever we pass the index. Here we go. Index. Okay, I don't need to mess with the index in here. Not at all. Great. But I do need to pass in flip board. Right. Position. Okay, I'm only using it there, it looks like. Yep. Oh, there we go. All right. Yeah, we're not going to keep that for now. You know what? Indices don't need to be flipped. Do they? No, they don't. Yeah. Okay. Everything should flip. And it seems to. Now, if you look, the king and queen are backwards to this diagram here. Because when I created this diagram, my notation was just back. Okay, let's think. The problem here is that the problem I'm having here is when I put in my notation here, my initial position, right? So when I put in my initial position, I put in things the way they're supposed to be according to a real game, right? This is D, this is D1, and this is D8, right? D1, wait. Yeah, queen on D1, queen on D8. D1, D8, and then E1, E8 for the king, right? But the problem is it's rendering backwards here. The king and the queen are swapped. And the reason is this whole index kerfuffle. So I need to fix it in two places. Yeah, it actually is important to me. Despite what I said earlier, it actually is important to me that it's correct inside here, index. Right here's where the problem is, though. Okay, now this should move. This should move the king and queen up to there, but it should fix that problem. Uh-oh, we're still having issues. Because if we rotate this board here, the king and queen swap places. Alright, so we might have to do something a little bit different. We'll have to think it through. I might have to actually physically get out a chessboard to figure this out. I think, yeah. I think what's happening is we're not rotating the board. It's mirroring a board. So here, where I've got the flipboard thing, handle board flip, that's where it's wrong. Okay, let's change this to Foss, though. Oops. Change this to Foss. Reload the page. Now you can see the king and queen are both down here. In the wrong spot, actually. Okay. Huh. I need to know why it's wrong. Change this back to true, and then over here, write everything. Okay, king and queen, right here. Those are backwards to each other. Backwards to what they should be. Huh. I really didn't want to have to spend time looking at the linear thing, but it looks like I'm going to have to redo that formula at some point. I don't think I need to do this right now. This isn't like a major blocking issue in terms of like basic functionality. It just means we're not playing chess, right? We're playing a similar game, almost the same. But yeah. So let's see, 063. What is... The king is on index 24. 24 minus... 63 minus 24 is 39. I want to get this answer, actually. Huh. No, I don't. No, actually, I don't. Well, I can hack this to work. Yeah. Interestingly, the king and queen are still backwards. True. If I go back to this, it's correct now. The king was here and he went here. Okay, so that does actually rotate. D1, E1, D8, E8. D1, E1, D8, E8. Okay, so that part's not wrong. Uh-huh. So we subtract char code of A minus this. It's 0 base, so we're not adding 1. Well, there's something very easy I can do. Subtract it from 7. King and queen have moved. This is correct. This is the way it should be. Bug in algebraic notation. Render ranks from right to left. No, from left to right. That's a complicated explanation. For a very, very simple change. Basically, we're subtracting this value from 7. What we were doing before was we were taking the numeric value of the character A and subtracting that from the numeric value of whichever character was there. Now, if it was the character A for for file A, did I say that wrong up here? Oh, you know what? I did. Everywhere I said rank, I should say file. There we go. Wait a minute. Oh man. I just changed how files render, but I called it rank. So I think I just got the names backwards. So let's go ahead and fix the names first. Let's remove this. Actually, we don't need that. Here are our new changes. Okay. Let's look at the change again. Let's talk this through, right? In my mind, when I looked at the chessboard, I decided that rank A would be 0, rank B would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then rank H would be 7, right? 0 through 7. That's the way I was thinking about it in my mind. But this linear conversion algorithm we're working with doesn't treat it that way. Somewhere in our code, actually, it honestly might not even be here. The problem might actually be inside this function. But between these two functions, where we're converting to a linear index and then converting back to an xy position, one of those two functions is doing it wrong for the rank, just getting the rank a little bit backwards. So, in fact, if I re-render this, oh no, the numbers are rendering the same way. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So, what I could have done was change the way, what I could have done was change the entire, what do you call it? The numbering system, the coordinate system of the chessboard that I'm using. I could have corrected it in the chess, or in the coordinate system. But what I did instead was, I said, okay, listen, A is not going to be 0, A is going to be 7. H is not going to be 7, H is going to be 0. And swap them, swapped the coordinates for B and G. I basically swapped the numeric coordinates that correspond to each one of these letters. Swapped B for G, swapped C for E, and then swapped D, importantly, D for E. So that gets so I had two options. I either could have changed the coordinate system for everything, or could have just changed the numeric values of the ranks. And so I chose to do the latter. Right here, I'm taking the numeric value of the rank as I was calculating it previously, right? As I was calculating it previously, and then I'm subtracting it from 7 to invert it. So 7 minus 7 is 0, 7 minus 0 is 7, so it inverts it. 7 minus 1 is 6, etc. Like all of them invert. So that's what we're doing. We basically had two different ways to correct it. Instead of trying to wade through this mess and try to understand it, or this mess and this mess to try to understand it, we're just going to leave this alone and swap it here. It's fine. And sorry, I keep saying ranks. It's actually files. Up and down is a file. Across is a row. Ranks are rows. Files are columns. Okay. Now then, with that done, I need to see. Right. What did I do here? I added flipboard. And flipboard is currently false. Now with flipboard false, you can see that white's in the wrong spot. White's at the top when it shouldn't be. I wonder if I can fix that here. Let's try this. Oh yeah, I fixed it here. I fixed it here. Okay, wow. We're doing all the fixes in that same spot. Okay, so. Rotate board 180 degrees. Yeah. With our coordinate system, A1 was getting rendered at the top. Rank 1 was getting rendered at the top of the board rather than the bottom. We could go through coordinates, but instead we're just going to swap them. I probably need to make a corresponding change here, quite honestly. Yeah, I do. And I got rank and file backwards here as well. With our coordinate system, yeah. We're just going to swap. Okay, now we need to correct this one as well. Wait a minute, this is bad. Rank and file, hang on. Okay, file is the X. Rank is the Y. Okay, so we can't change that, right? We can't change this part. But this is supposed to be the file. You know, it's the file character. There we go. 1 plus that. Now. Okay, that's one correction. We're going to match them up. All right. Cool. And what I need to do here with the file is this. And do I need to invert the index here? I don't even know if I do. I think I might. Wait a minute. What a shame. Mm-hmm. Good. I think I did CIA when I wasn't supposed to. Bug. All right. Undo the transformations of how things were being translated into indices. Files were ranks also backwards. Eight to 1 instead of 1 to 8. Rather, we just changed how we convert algebraic notation into the system. That means we need to do to make the corresponding changes when converting back, inverse changes when converting back from linear coordinates to algebraic notation. Apply the inverse corresponding fixes. Apply the fixes to the recent fixes. Okay. Now then, this flipboard thing is something we can add later. I don't see that I need it right now. Yep. I don't like the way I implemented it. I'm hoping I'll find a better way to do it. And yeah. So we're going to remove that as an option. Okay. Here we go. I mean, that's pretty good. I think that's a good place to stop for now, to be honest. Yeah, that's a fair amount of work, but what do we have left to do? What did we get done? What do we have left to do? Let me see. Let me bring it back up again. Okay. Well, we do have this part, and thankfully we're using Dino. We got that part happening. Broadcast events, we're not doing that yet. Move log, we're not doing that yet. In fact, we're not even allowing moves yet. So the next steps. To be honest with you, this doesn't even line up very well. Render board and pieces. Choose new. Find or make skins for the pieces. Could say icons instead, I guess. Okay. What else do we need to do? Allow moving pieces. Can canvas handle click events? If it can, then we're probably going to rely on that. Because it'd be awful to have to build something on top of this to try to translate events. It'd be nice if it could just give us the coordinates of the click anyway. Matter of fact, I think HTML can do that without canvas. Can we get exact chords without canvas? Can HTML already do that? With normal click events already? Can we get... Yes, can we get canvas chords up with that? All right. That's what we're going to do. Okay, and what else? Send move events, track moves in the log. Yeah, move transitions are not something I'm going to even think about right now. Track recent. Track moves correctly with respect to repaint squares. Let's just call it dirty squares. Now, needs full repaint could be, well, it needs it in the beginning, right? I guess. I don't know when it needs a full repaint, so. Probably only once. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Needs to be done here. Inside this loop, yes. No, this is not what I want. I don't want to... Track needs... Yeah. I don't know what to call it. But anyway, that's what we need done. I think that's enough. Right? Transitions. Are you crazy? That would be a nice value add, but honestly, I don't need it. Sounds would be nice, but honestly, without transitions, sounds don't make a lot of sense. Alright, cool. That's the stream, guys. Thanks for joining me on this journey. And yeah, look forward to the next one.